Welcome to a new video from English Plus Podcast. This is the very first content that I'm creating in 2025, and I thought about talking about something that relates to all of us. We're going to talk about New Year resolutions today. I mean, haven't we all been there? The promise to hit the gym only to discover it's a place that requires actual effort, not just stylish workout clothes. The bold declaration to save money followed by a sudden, inexplicable need for that shiny new gadget or those online sales you simply couldn't resist. And who can forget the infamous "I'll eat healthier" as we binge on leftover holiday cookies while convincing ourselves that chocolate has antioxidants. Now, let me share a little mishap of my own. One year, I decided I'd become the kind of person who runs at dawn. I bought the running shoes, set the alarm, and even told a friend about it. Because accountability, right? The first morning came, and I heroically snoozed my way through it. By the end of January, the only running I did was to the fridge during movie nights. Classic, isn't it? Now, we've all had moments like these. The excitement of the new year gives us this magical boost of optimism. We start dreaming big, crafting ambitious lists, and for a while it feels great. But then life happens. Schedules get busy, motivation wanes, and before we know it, we're back to our usual routines. Resolutions quietly swept under the rug like last year's party confetti. It's okay though. We're not failures for not sticking to our resolutions. We're human. Life doesn't come with a reset button every January. It's more like a messy, colorful palette where we get to keep painting no matter how many times we smudge a stroke. Well, that's part of the fun, isn't it? So, what's the secret to actually sticking to resolutions this time? Well, first, let's toss out the guilt and pressure. Resolutions aren't about becoming perfect versions of ourselves overnight. They're about making small, meaningful changes that lead us to where we want to be. It's not about running a marathon right away. It's about putting on those sneakers and taking the first step, even if it's just around the block. One thing that helps is starting with clarity. Vague goals like "I'll get fit" or "I'll save money" are too slippery to hold on to. Instead, think of something tangible. Maybe it's doing 10 minutes of yoga 3 times a week or setting aside a fixed amount each paycheck. Break it down. Smaller goals are easier to manage and celebrate, and who doesn't love a good celebration no matter how small? Another tip is to focus on progress, not perfection. Let's be real. There will be days when you slip up. That's not a sign to give up. It's just life doing its thing. Missing one workout or indulging in dessert doesn't erase all the effort you've put in. It's about getting back on track without beating yourself up. And let's talk about the power of accountability. Find someone to share your goals with, someone who can cheer you on and maybe even join in. It's amazing how much more fun and motivating things become when you're not doing them alone. Even keeping a journal or using an app to track your progress can be a game changer. Most importantly, let's remember why we're making these resolutions in the first place. It's not about impressing anyone or ticking boxes. It's about building a life that feels good and meaningful to you. When the intention is rooted in self-care and growth rather than pressure, the journey becomes much more enjoyable. And now let's turn those good intentions into a plan that actually works. It all comes down to being smart about it. That means setting goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of saying "I'll read more," try "I'll read 1 book a month," or "I'll spend 20 minutes reading every evening before bed." See the difference? One feels like a vague wish, and the other feels like a doable mission. The beauty of SMART goals is that they give you clarity. You know what you're aiming for, how to track it, and when you've achieved it. And here's a little trick. Pair each goal with a small reward. Finish that book, treat yourself to a new one. Stick to your workout routine for a month. Maybe a cozy new hoodie for those morning walks. Rewards don't just feel good, they keep you motivated. As you head into this new year, keep one thing close to heart. Resolutions aren't just about the destination, they're about the growth, the effort, and the stories you'll have along the way. Maybe you'll stumble, maybe you'll veer off track, but that's okay. Every step, big or small, is part of the journey. And don't forget, it's not about January the 1st. You can start or restart anytime you want. Life doesn't wait for the calendar, and neither should your goals. Embrace the mindset that every day is an opportunity to learn something new, to take a small step forward, and to remind yourself that progress is always worth celebrating. So here's to making resolutions count this time. Here's to your courage, your commitment, and your belief in the possibility of change. Whatever you're aiming for, I hope it brings you closer to a life you love. And as we always say around here, never stop learning. Wishing you a year full of growth, joy, and plenty of stories worth telling. Happy New Year, my friends, and I hope to bring you more benefit and more fun in English Plus Podcast in 2025. I'll see you next time.